the space where we as a collective come together and we empower each other. This is where your silent screams and the loud strength is born, okay, in this moment and on this platform. So let's elevate each other, let's support each other. Your voice is everything. So we need to learn to exercise it, even in moments of tremor. So this is where I'm at, and I just thought I would come up on here and talk about that. So this is not just an article about trying to be the person that knows everything. I am just rebuilding, and here I am claiming my space, my beginning, my transformation, and my rebirth. Through my book, I have found peace, acceptance, and I have created this movement. So march on, guys, with me, and this is where we start. So why breaking the silence? Why stories matter? For generations, actually, domestic abuse has been hidden behind the facade of privacy and the four walls, in the doors. It's a family matter. Keep it in the home. There are narratives that have been perpetuated, a cycle of silence that leaves survivors isolated, unsupported, unbelieved. And the real power of storytelling starts when you shatter the silence and you exercise your voice. So this is where I am. I'm exercising my voice. So Silent Screams Loud Strength began as a journal of trying to find a place where I could literally just have my therapy in my home. So the words were literally screwed up because my head was all over the place. I was in a state of panic. I used to have lots of panic attacks. I have PTSD. Actually, I'm diagnosed extreme PTSD. I had anxiety that was just shooting over the roof. Sometimes I didn't even know what triggered it, but I had it and I have it. So it does come sometimes when I'm not expecting it. Sometimes it just creeps up on you. Sometimes I go for months without even experiencing that. But I have learned to live with these things, and I have learned to rewire my brain. That I know I am strong, but I also have those moments where I'm vulnerable, and I allow myself to do that. So my panic attacks were really mainly about my situation that went on longer than the marriage did. So I found myself in a place where I had no home. I was in court, endless hearings. Nothing was coming out of it. But those words grew wings inside of me. They became a book. They became a podcast. They became a place for me to come and say what was going on and speak my truth. Most importantly, they became a voice not just for me, but for many other survivors who don't have the platform, who are still going through it, and they don't know when it's going to end. Survivor stories are more personal reflections. They are public declaration of resilience and resistance. So when we share, they educate, they dismantle the stigma, and we challenge the legal system and the culture, and we stop this victimization of being called all sorts of names, because we are not always believed. So, but it's staying in your power and staying in your truth. That's what allows you to heal and to move forward. It's finding a pathway for your trauma to subside, for tools to manage. This platform is for community to find somewhere where they feel supported. So I'm here. So the trauma of the system, when help really hurts. Living abuse is often painted as a happy ending, but for many, it's the start of the second trauma. Systematic neglect, systematic failures, tick box exercises that doesn't work for every person. When I escaped, I expected the justice system to believe me and protect me. Instead, I found myself dragged through the legal system where my voice was never heard. My mental health was questioned and deteriorated further. My rights were revoked. Article 3, Article 6, and you name it, it didn't belong to a person like me. And the marital act was thrown out in the bin. So all that didn't work for me. The judges didn't protect me even when they had the power to protect a litigant in person, a domestic abuse person. They never even considered all of that. And yet, I refused to lay down. It hurt like hell. It hurt like hell. But this is what trauma does. It manifests in all the battles that you're faced with, and the betrayal by the system that is designed to protect us. That one is the hardest for me. Because honestly, I felt like maybe it was the Stone Ages where women were never had a platform or a place to speak. And their voice was irrelevant. So this is the trauma a few talk about, the betrayal of the system that's designed to, to protect us from family courts, family court orders, the power of the abuser, to the housing authorities that are slow to respond, the medical professions that send you from one assessment to the other, and there's such a long time to wait for the NHS to do what is meant to help you. They downplay mental health because it's an unseen wound, so nobody really knows. I think they still don't know. But how do we verbalize and actually, have these people understand that the infrastructure that they have set up for survivors is not fit for purpose? They turn us and make us feel like we are not worthy, and so the abuse sort of continues through the systems, through everything else that's going on. It's an unimaginable trauma and an unimaginable story, and it's an unimaginable problem to live with day in, day out. And if you're like me, where you don't even have anyone to talk to, that becomes even a mammoth task. So my story is not unique. Tragically, that's common. And that's why Silence Screams Loud Strength does not document, just document trauma. It exposes the injustice, it names the courts, it calls out the policies, it calls for reform, and we demand it. So from victimhood to advocacy, this is where my journey is propelled to go. We're moving forward. We are not staying stagnant. I'm a river of water, a body of water that flows. And so I am flowing with where the story is going. But I'm not flowing quietly. I'm flowing with a loud voice, with my head held up high, because I know I speak my truth. And my truth is all I have. So there is this greatest myth about abuse that it ends when you walk away. In truth, it changes form. So it morphs into post-separation abuse, coercive litigation, homelessness, and mental health battles. They continue. And yet I've discovered something else in the darkness of this purpose, that through speaking out, writing and recording, I took back the narrative. I turned victimhood into advocacy. I found that advocacy is not just about protest, it's about empowering myself, empowering others. It's about transforming personal pain into collective power. So silent screams, loud strength is now used by women navigating court battles, student research, gender-based violence, and organizations pushing for trauma-informed practices. It's not a story, it's a resource. So this is a very important platform that people need to realize that silent screams, loud strength is not used by women to navigate just court battles. It is a student research, gender-based violence organization pushing for trauma-informed practices to change. This is not a story. This is a platform for resource. And this is a platform that needs to be taken seriously. So I will jump on and talk about healing. And healing is not linear. It is possible, but it is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's the journey that one of the most dangerous expectations survivors face is the myth of linear healing. There is no such thing. It doesn't exist because we are all individuals. We have different genetic makeups, and besides just this trauma, there's other things that we've gone through in life. Okay, so that after leaving we will steadily get back. No, it doesn't happen like that. So and they expect us to smile more, to suffer less, and that's not how it works actually. So it's not a linear journey. So some days you are a warrior, other days you don't want to get out of bed, some days you want to just whisper, but every day I am healing. So are you. So 3, journaling, walking besides the river, which is my best part. I love going to the river and talking to God through prayer. And podcasting is actually just really healing for me. And it's also, I believe, helping others, because that's what I want to do. If I can help one person, then my job is done. I have found a rhythm of recovery that harmonizes the full truth of trauma. It does hurt and it lingers sometimes, but it doesn't win because I refuse for it to take over my life. So my healing journey is spiritual, psychological, and political, and I offer it as a mirror for others to find their own path. So why we need more survivor-led narratives. Too often narratives about abuse are written by outsiders, experts, journalists, lawyers. While these perspectives are valuable, they are not enough. We need more survivor-led literature, media and advocacy led by lived experiences. We need platforms created by survivors for survivors because they understand what it means to be a survivor. So silent screams, loud strength is not filtered, not protected institute. It does not sanitize the pain to fit the public comfort. It tells the raw, inconvenient, necessary truth, and it makes it powerful because it's just raw. There's nothing edited, there's nothing produced and restructured for aesthetic. It's about giving them the platform to actually survivor-led story in that moment, which just is their truth, without judging them, without even giving them advice, because they just want to speak. Sometimes when your brain and mind and eyes cannot connect, I am pushing through. My eyes are running all over my head just so that I can actually articulate going to be an advocate. So that's how things are as a survivor. This is not a place where you are going to expect perfection, because perfection, when they do not grow up attracting the having domestic abuse or person
abuse
into their
trauma
life
of any form,
they have
it's
the
very
knowledge
difficult
to know
be well put together,
that this
even when
person,
we
by
do
the way
try.
they act, they are not
So,
right fit for
my
them
call to
or
action,
right fit for
what
us.
you can do now,
And we also want to
is
speak
you can
where we are
start, you can read my book. So, buy
Silent
my
Strength,
book,
listen
Loud
to the
Scream,
podcast
Silent,
if this resonates
Silent
with you.
Screams, Loud Strength,
Donate to
and
charity,
become,
shelter and other
and turn
charities
those
that are doing
silent
great
screams
work
into
for women
silent,
who have
loud
suffered domestic
strength.
abuse,
Because
and
you
men and children
need
to champion yourself.
And if
then
there's
seek out
someone
more
you know who's
survivor
being abused
voices,
right now,
and let's
please
have a community for each one of us where
report
we
the
can
matter,
feel empowered and support each other.
but do it safely.
So,
ask them
use
if they
my
want
platform
to
to amplify your stories.
and help them out.
Visibility is very
You may
important
just
for
save a
survivors
life.
of domestic abuse.
And the
We
children.
have absolutely nothing to be ashamed
Women
of.
have a great responsibility.
We have
and I'm not
absolutely
discounting
nothing to
men.
be guilty
Women
of.
have a great
We need to speak
because
healing
starts
starts
you're left at home
with
children
speaking.
and you're expected to do everything, and yet you are
But
being
to whom do you
abused,
speak?
and you're expected to
So
be
you need to
perfect
find
and
your
everything's
tribe, the
supposed to be
right
just
people
so.
that will understand you,
Life
not the ones
is
that will
not
judge you.
about being just
Because there is
so.
an art to listening to a
Sometimes it's
survivor.
about
It's not
taking a breath, being grounded and breathing and talking and being believed. So if someone says to you they are being abused, please believe them. So every small act of listening, sharing, and making a difference is very important to a survivor, and that is an act of courage. So, as my final note on this podcast, I will say, we rise together. From trauma to transformation is not straight path, but it's one worth walking without overwhelm. Take your time. I didn't choose to be abused. I didn't choose to be homeless, but I do choose to speak. I did choose to be a survivor. And now I choose to share, not just for me, but for every voice that is still trapped in the silence. Silence screams, loud strength is more than a memoir. It's a roadmap, a manifesto, a movement, and it belongs to all of us, because when survivors rise, we don't rise alone, we rise together. Okay, let's rise from this. My book is on Amazon. Silent Screams, Loud Strength. You can listen to it, and you can listen to the podcast. I have nuggets that may help and just inspire you. I also have affirmations and meditations on Insert Timer. You can log on there, follow me, you can send me a message on social media. You can go on my website with the same name, Samantha Avril-Andreassen. Put me a message, subscribe to my email list. Let's grow, and let's grow together. Let's support each other. I have a Facebook group where we can connect. I'll be running some Zooms on there as well and empowering each other. I have a 6-day challenge coming on that helps us to move, meditate, plan, and execute. So the planning is writing. Execution is making sure that those things that you plan for yourself, that you affirm you want to do, you try to do bits of those to get yourself in a place where it could be just an appointment that has been set up by you, by your subscriber at the surgery, for someone to come and assess you, because it's really difficult. Sometimes you don't want to open the door because just a doorbell can set you off, a phone call can set you off. All these things have set me off. Going to buy food for myself to replenish my fridge has set me off many a time.
So be gentle, be kind to yourself. And please know, it's not your fault that this happened to you. It is not. And thank you for being part of the tribe. If you know somebody that needs to hear this podcast, please do share with them. And if it did resonate with you, leave a review so that this can also empower somebody else. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Happy healing, happy movement, happy meditation, happy planning, happy execution. Thank you.